Who trusts infants with anything, let alone naming you that which you will be called for the rest of your life? I don't think so.
Oh. This one time.
So, this one time.
This one time?
You know what? This one time.
This one time.
Oh my God, this one time?
The podcast.
Another question this week, my love.
Yes.
This one comes from a gentleman by the name of Nathaniel from Arizona. And he asks this very simple question. What's the one thing that might make us give up this life of living abroad and move back to America?
That's a great question, Nathaniel. Thanks for asking. I'm Sheila D.
And I am Evo Terra. We are ShEvo, and you are listening to This One Time, the podcast. If you haven't figured it out yet, people, and I don't know how you managed to do that, but I guess it's possible. Maybe you just consume this in podcast form. I suppose that's
People
possible.
don't follow us. Not everybody follows us.
Nathaniel is our son.
He is.
You might have heard us refer to him as NJ. He is our kid, and NJ didn't listen to a conversation I had with him some 16 years ago.
I think he did. Because otherwise, this would have happened a long time ago.
That is true. Honey, do you want to just quickly answer the question, and then we can get on to the rest of the program?
Sure. In July, you're going to be really, really old. And that's not your birthday. You're going to be really, really old because you're going to be a grandfather.
And that is the answer to the question. The only thing which would make us give up this life of traveling abroad is being grandparents.
And I'm super excited.
I'm getting super excited. I'm starting to learn that. So, yeah, so here's the deal, kids. We're going to be grandparents, which means we're moving back to America. So, yeah, we're doing that. But instead of us talking about us moving back to America, what I thought we would do on the program today, my love, is come to an agreement on a very important topic. And that very important topic is, how do we wish to be referred to as an additional generation above parent? Grandparents.
I'm sure yours is what, Mac Daddy or something like that?
Well, I have been giving it some thoughts. I'm warming up to the idea. My family has at least in my generation, we had a relatively straightforward naming convention for grandparents.
Okay.
Because like almost everyone out there listening, although certainly not everyone, but the vast majority of people have two sets of grandparents. I mean, biologically speaking, everyone has two sets of grandparents. Right. You have your maternal grandmother and grandfather, and you have your paternal grandmother and grandfather. For me, both of my grandmothers were grandma.
Okay.
And my grandfathers, my paternal grandfather was granddad.
Okay.
And my maternal grandfather was grandpa.
Okay.
And that was it. So pretty straightforward and simple. If you go back, I only had one great-grandparent that was around, and that was my maternal grandfather. So my maternal grandmother's father was still alive, and he was Papa Charlie.
Okay.
But I don't think he was always Papa. I think that came because Papa Charlie had 9 kids at like the age of 4, and they all bred like rabbits, like right out of the womb. So they had to have some sort of a discerning factor, so it couldn't just be a simple grandma and grandpa. My grandparents were, each had my mom and my dad each have their own individual siblings. So I have one aunt, my mom's sister, and I have another aunt, my dad's sister. So it gets a lot simpler when you have single-digit children as opposed to, a gaggle of kids. That's what mine were called. What were the grandparents called in your family historically, my love? So
that they range. A lot of times just to one another, it's grandma.
What do you mean to one another?
As I'm speaking to them.
Oh, but when you refer to them, you would just call them Gram. Okay, that's what you're saying. Sure, okay.
So
what about your grandfathers?
Well, it gets kind of complicated because I don't have just one set. For each, I have step and remarried, and I don't know. My family gets a little crazy. So
Your family didn't get crazy. They just get divorced easily.
They do. And so I've got one that I called Grandpoo.
Was it Gran Poo or was it Grand Poo?
Grandpoo.
Grand Poo, which sounds like Grant Poo because letters in the Latin alphabet are terrible, but that was last week's episode. Sorry.
So I call my my dad's mom Gram.
Yes.
And she had a couple different names. Grandma Lois, Grandma Jerry.
Well, right. That's also so A gets divorced quickly and B changes their name a lot. I have no idea what half of that equation is like. Please continue.
Most of them though were named just with, their grandma and their name. So like Grandma
Right.
Kathy.
Okay.
But my mom's dad was Papa. And that's that. I was the first grandchild, so I think I'm the one that kind of gave that. And then his second wife was Granny.
Okay.
But beyond that, I think they were all just Grandma.
I see. On my dad's side, on my dad's second wife, that's a granny situation for
Right.
her. My stepmother Linda, while she is grandma to our son,
Right.
she is granny to my sister's children's.
Yep.
Because that's what runs in her family. We took, my love, the approach with NJ to just use grandma or grandpa and throw another name on the
Right.
end, and never the last name.
No,
There's
it's
always-
always the first name.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone still does that.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I mean, there was no double names. So like there weren't two.
Oh, hyphenated names, you mean?
No, I mean like two Kathys or two.
Oh, I see what you're
Terrys
saying.
or,
Yes.
So,
The first name of each of his grandparents was unique, at least in that set, so he
Right.
could just refer to them. Although he didn't refer to her as Grandma Terry,
no.
he referred to her as Grandma Frog. Because our family is weird, as Sheila said at the beginning of
Yeah.
this conversation.
My mom likes frogs.
Clearly picked that particular name. Interestingly enough, though, my sister on my mom's side, when she had kids, the first of her child came. For longtime listeners of the show know this kid. His name is Caesar Twisty McSpinnington. Thank you, definitely, Doc, for naming him properly. When Twisty came out and started referring to his grandmother, it wasn't any of those. It was Granny. It wasn't a grandma. It wasn't a Grams. It was none of that stuff. It was Maka.
And I
Maka.
I don't even know the why.
No one knows why. So what we are doing on this program here is we are heading this off at the pass, nipping it in the bud. We are going to select, or at least I am going to select, the appropriate moniker that I shall be named from, because who trusts infants with anything, let alone naming you that which you will be called for the rest of your life? I don't think so. These kids have no experience, literally no experience. They don't get to pick my name.
Can I pick your name?
No.
Because
You can have input. That's what we're going to do on the program here.
I think we should ask for listeners to call in on this one.
We'll go through over the next. This might be a long show. We'll go over our favorites. Feel free to chime in with what you think. I want to start with you first, my love, because
that
you
is not nice.
are the best. You are the first, most important thing. You're always in the right channel of people's ears. There's a reason for all these things. I want to start with you. So I found a website that shows not just, we had baby books 26
Right.
years ago, like everyone does today, but now there are grandparent
Names.
books, and there are sites now that list not just traditional names, but also trendy names.
I saw those.
So that's what I went through. And I thought we'd chat about a few of those. So I have
You
some
have a
for
long
you.
list over there.
I have a relatively long list. So there are, first off, if you... If I'm about to pick your name and skewer it, I'm going to apologize in advance. But it's one of those sorry, not sorry situations. This is what I'm trying to avoid.
There's a reason why we typically talk about things before we go on the show.
Well-
and we didn't this time.
How about Bama for a grandmother name? Bama.
No. Because I am not from Alabama.
we would just call you Roll Tide.
Nope,
Yeah, you
can't have that.
You can't be from a middle America college football centric world, which our family is still in, and use Bama.
Nope.
Unless you happen to be from Alabama. All right, so no Bama.
No Bama.
How about Dolly? Or Doll? That's not Dolly, it's Dally, which I can only assume is pronounced Dally.
No, it's too close to. It's a shortened way of saying Dallas, so no.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. Okay, Dally. Dilly Dally was what I was thinking of, which is a
can't do
terrible
that
name.
either.
Who
Yeah.
wants to be called Dally? Dally. Why Dally? I don't understand. Why? It makes no sense whatsoever. Now, here's this one I do like. Ginja. Ginja. Ginja, which I assume is how it's pronounced. Ginja.
I kind of like that one.
Ginja.
I could do that. I could be Ginja.
Yeah, and then when the kid gets old enough, Ginja, bring me the ganja. But could be situation. Boy, bring me Ginja's rheumatism medicine. A water bomb. Ginja, I like Ginja. How about Gogo?
Gogo? I don't hate it. It's not my favorite.
We'll take that kid to Thailand someday and show him what a go-go is. It's all about. Go-go. Or her. We don't know what it's going to be. Or,
Right.
They. One of the craziest ones I've seen on this list.
Okay, the look in your eyes when you're saying this
Oh my
is
God.
hilarious.
Some of these are completely insane. Grandiose.
That I could do.
That is a list. Who wants to be? Listen, I have an ego. Do not you misunderstand the fact here. I have an ego. I do not expect a child to call me Grandiose.
And how are they pronouncing it? Because seriously, a 2-year-old pronouncing grandiose.
Well, they can roll their tongue. You can't, but they can roll their tongue. They can roll their R. Grandiose. So they can make all those sounds. Grandiose.
It's a pretty big word.
I love it.
It's a pretty big word.
I love it. And then there's now this is also a possibility. It's kind of sound funny, but let it sink in for a minute. Granette or Grandette. So not a grandma, but like a grand little grand. Because you're little, you're not big. Grandette.
No.
Grandette. Granite?
No.
Grand mini.
No.
Okay. Granite noi.
Move on.
No. Okay. How about Madeir? Madeir. M''Dear. Madeir.
Okay, I don't think I like it for the grandchild to call me, but
You want me to call you that? I see. I have 2 others. I have 3 others, which I'm relatively certain you're not going to go for. One is Faux,
No.
and it's spelled Faux. MAU. Fake mother.
No. No.
How about NotherMother?
No.
You're trying to reappropriate street culture, not happening there. Or finally, Pebbles.
Pebbles?
Pebbles.
As in like Bam Bam?
As in Pebbles and Bam Bam, I guess. Well, you have Bama and then Pebbles, but Pebbles is on the list as a grandmother name. Why did it slip in from a toddler name? I don't understand why.
I don't know
Pebbles.
either. So no.
You don't
No,
like
no.
any of those.
No.
What do you like then?
So I have a list of a couple that are kind of interesting.
All right.
Lala. Your mom mentioned Lala.
Lala, she did mention that.
I
Thank
like
you,
that
Mother.
one. Nana. I don't mind that.
Soy.
As in no. Only in
Soy.
Chinatown,
Yeah,
not
China. Chinatown, nana, not soy, nana, in Bangkok.
in. I don't mind Grammy.
Grammy, really?
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Okay. Who do I know that uses the Grammy?
I think Debbie.
Oh, that's right. It
Walker.
is Debbie
Debbie
Walker.
Walker.
That's who
Yeah.
is Gammy. Yeah. Spellway. Sure.
Gigi, which is a Ukrainian way of saying grandma.
I'm familiar with the Gigi, so yes, I believe that Yuki, George Robb, has talked about this before as Gigi, or at least I know someone else of Eastern European
Simpsons.
descent.
The Simpsons use Gigi, I think, for unless her mom's name is really Gigi.
Like an April?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe so. I don't know. Ape, tell us what's going on.
Nooni.
Nooni. I like that one because it's very similar to Nooner. You can have your
Anyway.
Nooni kid once I have my Nooner.
Anyway,
Wow.
maybe we're going to skip that one. And Bibi is Swahili.
Bibi is Swahili. Bibi.
Bibi.
I like Bibi.
Yeah. It's
Bibi.
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 It's easy to say.
Bibi. Yeah, it's very simple, easy, plosives.
I also thought maybe we could look at like the Thai words.
Oh, yes. I actually have a couple of those written down. What did you come up with? I can't wait to hear your pronunciation of these Thai words.
I can't wait for you to make fun of me.
I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm just going to correct you.
Same thing for you. Anyway, so the maternal is ya. Y-A?
Yes. Yeah.
Ya.
And that's if it's maternal but paternal. So it would come from, because it'd be yai if it was the maternal.
Oh,
so you need paternal, but you
I
got.
see.
You picked the right one.
Yeah.
Ya is the right one.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. So then I didn't write down what the grandfather
Oh,
would
I
be.
have that.
Okay, what is
We're not
that?
on mine yet. We're on you right now. We're talking about you.
That's it. That's all I have for me.
So does anything stick out as what you should be?
I like Gigi a lot.
Like Gigi.
And I like Bibi and I like Lala, I
Okay.
think best.
Those are your choices. Listener, I'm going to go through my list in a moment. When we're all done, we'd love to hear feedback from you on which one of these names you think we should
I have two
utilize.
for you.
Well, let's get to me. You want to do you first? You want to do me first? Who's going to go through the list first? You only have two, so yours is simpler. So let's.
No, I think you should go through yours first.
So some of these are amazing, like Ace.
No.
Ace. I tried to change my name to Ace when I was like 7.
You can't bring
I
it
was
back
big
when
into the-
you're 50.
Big into the Kiss Army at that time, and so wanted to be called Ace.
Ace.
You call me Ace.
How'd that go over?
Yeah, I'm not called Ace, so. How about Big Daddy? I like the concept of Big Daddy. When I first thought, I went, "Oh, that's cool, Big Daddy," because it makes sense. It's one level up. I mean, it's not
Right.
too terribly strange, right? I mean, his kid's going to have a daddy, and I would be one level
Right.
being a Big Daddy. But then I remember that I've watched Django Unchained one too many times,
All right.
and I don't want to be Big Daddy's getting away and be shot in the head.
Right.
Be bad. So Big Daddy's probably not out. There's also a similar one of that, Biggie D.
I don't think you're in the culture for that.
I don't think I'm street enough to pull
No,
off a
you're not
Biggie D look. How about Dabado?
Dabado.
As in Yaba. You could be Yaba, and I could be Dabado. Of course, Yaba in Thailand is methamphetamine, so we probably shouldn't use that word.
No,
So
probably
Dabado.
not.
Dabado.
Dabado.
Dabado. Dabado.
I'm going to start calling you Dabado.
Dabado. Now, the obvious one was G-Man. But I was T-Man for a very long time, so G-Man
Right.
and T-Man would be right there together for that. Mellowman.
No.
Sounds like I'm selling the kid weed, not a grandparent.
And by the way, you're not mellow.
Mellowman. They call me Mellow Yellow. That's right.
No. Move on.
MoreDaddy. MoreDaddy is listed on the trendy list of grandfather names. MoreDaddy.
That's ridiculous.
I'm with you. How about Rocky
Are you going to fight?
or Slick? I think Ace, Rocky, and Slick all go into one category. You want to be Ace, and Rocky, and Slick. These are all like, 1970s
Ridiculous.
east side of Manhattan names somebody wants to be, right? East,
Yeah.
Ace, Rocky, and Slick. Sound great, yeah. Now, a couple more that are interesting. I'm
Okay.
kind of on to a little bit. Granite.
No.
Not Granette, that would be you, but I think if I am Granite as in stone and you are Granette would be awesome. We're going to go see Granite and Granette. Granite and Granite. I think that's great. There's some symmetry there. It works. No one would have any idea what the kid was saying. It's great.
No.
How about Panda?
I like pandas.
It starts with a pa and it ends with a da. And I think, you got someone said, hey, we can mix these together and make Panda out of it.
And I like pandas.
Panda. It's definitely an option.
That's what I'm going to start calling you, though.
Now give me your options.
I have two.
Okay.
I have Bobo.
Bobo, the clown, or the chimp? No.
And my last one
Oh, geez.
is Bebop.
Bebop. Twist it. Bop it. Yank it. Or whatever that stupid game was. Bebop.
Bebop.
I didn't really play that much bebop music back in the day, so I don't know that
Doesn't
actually
matter.
fits.
You are now
Bebop.
Bebop.
All right. Can I get back to the Thai things for
Sure,
a moment here? Because
sure.
we have spent a couple of years in Thailand as part of who we actually are. I've got
Right.
a tattoo from Thailand and also with my grandfather incorporated into said tattoo from Thailand. So there's
True.
there's something here with that. So yes, you were correct. Yours is Ya.
Yes.
not ya. It's got two A's in there. You got to
Right.
pronounce both of them, ya. And the version for paternal grandfather in Thailand is poo.
Ooh.
Poo. Almost like a P, but you don't really hit the P really hard. But here's the cool thing. It's not, that's the shortened version. But the more formal version, anything in Thailand, is you put Khun in front of it, right? So I would be Khun Poo, which is almost grandpa, Khun
Right.
Poo, Khun Poo, and you would be Khunya.
Kunya.
Khunya
I like that.
and Khun Poo. Khunya and Khun Poo.
Oh,
And we could teach the kid to say it properly. Start like going Khun Poo, Khunya. No, Khun Poo, Khunya. Teach them the right way to say it. We'll be and here's the cool thing. We could teach them how to write it using the Thai
can't.
characters. Well, I could. I could do that. Yeah, I'm liking this idea.
That's kind of interesting.
So that is my first thought, but I think my default, if I get to really make a choice of what to do, and our kids, because we have to deal with what our child wants. Who's going to be the father
Yeah.
of this thing to a certain degree. We can obviously, what's what I'm looking for? Subvert.
Circumvent?
I'm thinking subvert his and Jamar's will. No problem with that. But I think my default is going. The other way I'm thinking of leaning heavily towards is just simply grandfather.
Okay.
No grandpa, no granddad, no gramps, no grandpappies, none of those things.
But that's a very formal.
Grandfather.
It's very formal, and I don't think you're
And it
very
has to
formal.
be said with the gravitas like that every time. Grandfather.
Hold on. Yep, I'm getting a message. You're full of shit.
That's what I'm thinking we should stick with. It's either Kung Pu or Kunya or grandfather and Gigi.
You don't even say your name right. Grandfather.
Grandfather.
Gigi. I like Gigi.
Gigi.
I like Gigi.
Gigi and Kung Pu. Kunya. Well, there you go, kids. We're going to be grandparents in July, and we would like for you to help us figure out what the name we should be called is. And you don't mistake what's happening here. We're going through all of these, and we completely get that the child may not make this choice. And that's fine. We will force this choice upon the child. Because what other purpose do we serve other than forcing children to do what is right and good
You're weird.
all the time?
Crazy.
Hey, if you have questions for us, like, now what, Evo? I'm assuming I'm going to get a lot of, well, now what happens to the show, Evo, questions next week. Don't sweat. The show is continuing. We will continue to do podcasting, even though, yes, we'll eventually be leaving here. We're not leaving Thailand yet. We have weeks, if not a couple of months, that are still here, so we will we will roll out the rest of this season. Those of you who've been listening for a long time know that we change formats every 30 shows-ish, so we will hit our 30th show of our 4th season, and then season 5 will follow along right behind that with a slightly different format, or maybe a vastly different format. Hell, we don't know yet, but I promise you the show will continue. So
We've timed this departure pretty.
nailed it. But if you got questions and you want to ask them, we got 2 more shows to do, or 3 more shows, whatever the number happens to be. We need questions from the audience, so pretty please, with sugar on it, go to shevo.wtf/call us and leave us a voicemail with your question for us. We'll play it on the show, and we'll answer it on the next week's program. Deal? Deal. shevo.wtf/call us.
Our show this one time would not be possible without support from people like you. If you think our show is worthy of your financial support, Patreon makes it super easy.
And did I mention the show's not going anywhere? So those of you who have been supporting us for a very long time, thank you. Your gifts went out in the mail yesterday, by the way. For those of you who have thought, well, now's a good time, but I'm not going to because now they're leaving the show. Again, no, listen, we're not stopping the show. Season 4 will end in a few more episodes, and then Season 5 will resume. If you want to support us, and we really wish you would because now we have to go back to America where things are really damned expensive, pretty please, with sugar on it, give us a small amount of money, $1, a couple of bucks, $5 a month, whatever it is, and we'll give you early access to this program. We record bonus content and other cool swag that I'm dreaming up right now. shevo.wtf/Patreon. It's a newish site that I've set up. So if you're on the other one, go to shevo.wtf/Patreon today and get signed up to give us some support as we keep the party going in Season 5.
Our music is by Valea.
Thanks for listening, listener. I'm Khun, also known as Evo Terra.
And I'm Gigi, also known as Sheila D.
For more about us, it's coming up next week. Get on the Patreon list, send us your questions, and we'll tell you more about our crazy stuff and maybe answer some of your now what the hell questions up next week. Bye.